Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best WNBA.
I'm on one side working out, Caitlin Clark on the other side.
Really?
I look at myself, there you go, two legends, Patty.
Did you say what's up?
You know I say what's up, but I'm not the type to say what's up to interrupt your workout because I don't like people to interrupt mine. She can shoot the shit out of it.
And the WNBA assist leader this past year.
She can shoot the shit out the ball.
I've stayed quiet, but I've had enough.
Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's redefining it. Her electric performances and fearless swagger have fans hooked, analysts stunned, and even NBA legends talking. We're seeing something unprecedented. A WNBA star sparking heated debates among basketball's biggest icons. Her stats, historic, her style, revolutionary. Caitlin is ushering in a whole new era for women's hoops. But greatness always draws fire. Critics questioned her credibility. Haters tried to tear her down. But now two all-time legends, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, have entered the conversation. And what they've said about Caitlin Clark just flipped the game upside down.
I've stayed quiet, but I've had enough. Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA and got treated badly just because she's white. She dominated because she earned it. Attacking someone for their skin color ain't right, no matter who it is.
Larry Bird's words, assuming this video going around is legit, strike right at the core of what's wrong here. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA and lit the league on fire. And somehow, instead of celebrating that, some decided her skin color was the story. That isn't sports, that's nonsense. Basketball has always cared about one thing above everything else: talent. Clark's got plenty of that. And if you think Larry's done talking, you're mistaken. He had even more to say later in this video, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. We can debate whether Bird actually said this, but there's no debating the truth behind it. Caitlin Clark earned her spot. Respect her game, period. After all the buzz surrounding Caitlin Clark, Michael Jordan has stepped in to share his thoughts, and his perspective changes everything. The WNBA owes Caitlin a great deal for what she's done for the game, MJ said. Jordan didn't stop there. He called for a complete overhaul in officiating, emphasizing, "The refs have been blatantly unfair to Caitlin, and it's time the league steps up and makes it right." His words resonate powerfully. The WNBA must not only acknowledge Caitlin's impact, but also ensure she receives the respect she deserves, both from her peers and from the officials on the court. It's not every day that the greatest of all time steps in to defend a player, and Jordan's comments make it clear that Caitlin is a game changer, one whose contributions cannot be ignored any longer. Allen Iverson, one of the most electrifying stars of his era, redefined the NBA much like Caitlin Clark is transforming the WNBA today. Both players became household names during their college careers and entered the professional leagues under immense pressure and sky-high expectations. Despite not being the most physically dominant athletes, they commanded respect through sheer skill and determination. Iverson mesmerized fans with his iconic killer crossover, leaving defenders stunned and reshaping the way the NBA approached face-up ball handling, a style deeply rooted in street basketball. Similarly, Caitlin Clark has become a role model for countless young girls who strive to emulate her fearless play style and sharp basketball IQ. Iverson himself recognizes Clark's immense talent. In a recent interview, he shared his thoughts on what sets her apart and why she's a true game changer for the sport, highlighting her unique skills and unshakable mindset.
Man, shoot the blood out of the ball. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, and not just scoring in basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road, she's going to only get better.
Allen Iverson knows what it takes to be a team's offensive engine, and he sees those same qualities in Caitlin Clark. During his peak years, Iverson carried the scoring load for his team, much like Clark is doing now. He praised her relentless aggression on the court, a trait that's essential for players tasked with being their team's go-to scorer. But Iverson also highlighted what sets the all-time greats apart: elite playmaking. Even as the youngest player on her team, Clark has an innate ability to elevate those around her with her vision and unselfishness. Players like Clark and Iverson are known as floor raisers. They make everyone around them better through their skill and basketball IQ. Iverson himself famously led a less-than-stellar supporting cast to the NBA Finals, relying on his ability to score at will. With time and growth, Iverson believes Caitlin Clark will continue to elevate her game and her team. He's confident her best days are ahead, and it's only a matter of time before she learns how to take her squad to even greater heights. Now, the challenge lies with the Indiana Fever. Can they surround their young superstar with the right pieces to help her achieve the kind of success Iverson once did? Dominance comes in many forms. Shaquille O'Neal, often called basketball's most dominant force, openly admires Steph Curry for changing the game despite their huge differences in style. Recently, Shaq showed similar respect for Caitlin Clark on Angel Reese's podcast, Unapologetically Angel, praising Caitlin's incredible talent and impact. Shaq pointed out how Caitlin, like Curry, dominates without relying on size or strength, revolutionizing her league through unmatched skill. According to Shaq, it's this kind of game-changing talent that pushes a sport forward, and Caitlin Clark has it.
Why do you think people love Caitlin Clark, besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph Curry, a little kid. Like Steph Curry, I love. You know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit in Mahmoud Abdul-Roh, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at, like, if you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis.
Shaq's comments highlighted one thing clearly. Caitlin Clark is achieving what no other WNBA player has done before. Even Angel Reese, Caitlin's toughest rival, admits this, though she downplayed it by saying, she can shoot threes from the logo. But that skill alone deserves respect. It requires unmatched precision and practice. Shaq recognizes Caitlin's deep-range talent as crucial to bringing new excitement and fans to the WNBA. His praise subtly challenges Angel Reese's claim that Caitlin isn't central to the league's growing popularity. Whether Angel admits it or not, Caitlin Clark's game-changing abilities are undeniably elevating the WNBA. NBA legend and seasoned analyst Charles Barkley has his eyes firmly on Caitlin Clark. After years in the spotlight as both a player and media personality, Barkley recognizes something special when he sees it, and he sees it clearly in Caitlin. It's not just her dominance on the court. Barkley is impressed by how effortlessly Clark handles media attention, fan pressure, and sky-high expectations. For someone so young, managing all that like a veteran player is rare. Barkley knows firsthand how tough that balancing act can be, making his praise for Caitlin Clark even more meaningful.
And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. And now, when I watch her, two things I like. She's playing much faster.
Yeah.
Much faster. She was playing too slow the first half of the season.
I think she was tired. I think she was banged up from the college season.
They didn't even give her the understanding, like, you girls been worded for the WNBA season. Y'all been working out on the nose. She came straight out of college.
Caitlin Clark succeeds in every aspect of the game, both inside and out, due to her exceptional attitude towards her work. She faced immense pressure from fans and franchises and exceeded all expectations. She took the hits from her competitors and proved herself tougher than them. Most impressively, she has continued to improve throughout the season. She has quickly learned to outplay her peers in the WNBA, which is no easy task given the significant differences between college basketball and the professional WNBA system. The physical demands of the WNBA take a toll on a player's body in ways that fans often can't see or even imagine. This is especially true for Caitlin Clark, given the added physicality that opposing teams direct at her. The only way to withstand this is through diligent physical preparation, allowing her to absorb the hits throughout the long WNBA season. This aspect of her game has been a pleasant surprise for fans, as she was initially seen as a supreme talent without extraordinary physical traits. The rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has become a cornerstone of the WNBA's burgeoning popularity. This dynamic evokes the early years of the NBA. Back in the 1970s, the NBA struggled to attract enough viewers to justify live televised games, a stark contrast to its current status as a media giant. What changed? The arrival of two generational talents, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Their legendary showdown in the NCAA tournament finals shattered viewership records and reignited national interest in basketball. Similarly, the women's tournament recently broke viewership records, sparking a media frenzy around women's basketball. At the heart of this phenomenon is the intense rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Their simultaneous entry into the WNBA has ushered in a wave of new fans, drawing comparisons to the NBA's transformative growth in the 1980s. Many have dubbed Angel and Caitlin the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird of the WNBA, a comparison so widespread that even Magic Johnson himself has weighed in. Unsurprisingly, he agrees. Moreover, he sees Caitlin Clark as a player with the potential to become the greatest in the league's history.
Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best WNBA player.
Magic Johnson has been an avid supporter of the WNBA for a while now. He's the owner of the Los Angeles Sparks. It looks like he has always believed that the WNBA will make its way to becoming a popular and thriving business someday, just like the NBA. Nowadays, his prediction is looking good. He spoke about the rise of the popularity in the WNBA in respect to the spectacle and rivalry of Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. He has compared it to him and Larry Bird. One can now hope that the WNBA will undergo the same positive changes that the NBA experienced. Financially, it's starting to come together, and we're already seeing the benefits. The change in gameplay was also a huge factor that Magic and Bird brought to the NBA. With Caitlin Clark being on a massively elevated tier of skill compared to most WNBA players, it's likely her talent will influence how other players train and how teams design their playstyles. When Magic Johnson entered the NBA, he revolutionized offenses with his incredible talent and basketball IQ, quickly establishing himself as the league's best point guard, a legacy that still stands today. Caitlin Clark could have a similar impact on the WNBA. Magic Johnson's thoughts on Caitlin Clark are truly impressive. When people say point guard, there's one name that stands above all others: Chris Paul. He is considered the ideal version of a traditional point guard, dissecting defenses with his scoring ability and advanced playmaking instincts. This is similar to how Caitlin Clark is dismantling WNBA defenses today. There was a passing of the torch moment when Chris Paul reflected on Caitlin Clark's Rookie of the Year campaign, comparing it to his own many years ago. They've also built some camaraderie through their mutual endorsement of State Farm. The company even asked Chris Paul to send a message congratulating Caitlin on winning Rookie of the Year.
A few of the things that I learned coming from one Rookie of the Year to another, even though mine was 19 years ago, one of the biggest things after winning Rookie of the Year, because that's a big deal, first of all. That's a huge achievement and you should be proud. But going forward, I think the biggest thing I tried to focus on was getting stronger. I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to get faster, I wanted to be better on defense. But more than anything, I tell you, the biggest people that I leaned on was my family, my support system.
There is that concern again with Caitlin's physical training that any basketball player is familiar with. It's nice that Chris Paul also gave advice on the mental and emotional toll that being a young basketball prodigy takes on an athlete. You can sense that Chris Paul truly respects Caitlin Clark and wants her to succeed in her career in the long run. He goes on to say more to celebrate her award.
What you did this past season was crazy. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history, most assists by a rookie in WNBA history, 3-time Eastern Conference Player of the Week, 4-time WNBA Rookie of the Month. I could go on and on, so shout out to you, Caitlin. It's been amazing to watch you hoop day in and day out, and not just to see the behind the back going left threes from deep, but more so just to see the passion and the joy that you play with and to see the way that you make your teammates better. So I just want to say congratulations.
Chris Paul lists off some impressive achievements within Clark's Rookie of the Year campaign. There is a lot there that she must be proud of. He even shouted out specific moves that Caitlin does on the court. Chris Paul sounds like he's genuinely a big fan of Clark. It's impossible not to be after Caitlin's constant flurry of impressive accolades and highlights from her rookie year alone. She's following the footsteps of the most popular basketball prospects who have come into the league in a big way. Many would say LeBron and Jordan were the biggest prospects who completely changed the game, but there is a big name people have been forgetting today. Julius Erving, or Dr. J, was probably the most popular basketball player to ever enter a new league. This is because he played in the ABA beforehand. He was the face of the league as soon as he dropped into the NBA. His celebrity status at that point was unmatched. He's also given his take on Caitlin Clark. This was during the time when she was snubbed from the women's basketball Olympic team. He reassures her and her fans that this situation isn't all bad. This is what he said. "I think that she's probably going to be a part of the next 3 Olympic teams, and 3 would be plenty, because there's risk associated with being a part of this particular Olympic team. So, slow your roll a little bit. She's doing commercials, she's doing things that are making a difference in the game, and she's been tremendous. She'll make an even greater difference if she's allowed to let things happen when it's supposed to happen." Dr. J knows that a basketball career is long and can take many different turns. His career was like that. So his advice for Caitlin is to relax a bit. She's already achieved so much in only her first year, and she will no doubt get the opportunity to do even more things in the future. He also hinted that there are more things for Caitlin Clark to do outside of the WNBA, and even more so to accomplish outside of just basketball. Julius Erving embodied this, as well as he became an all-around celebrity and culture setter during his playing days. Celebrity culture often intertwines with greatness in sports. Vince Carter is a prime example from the modern era. Drafted by the Toronto Raptors in the 1990s, Carter not only elevated the franchise, but also created a new basketball culture in the city. Like Dr. J and Caitlin Clark, Vince Carter was a massive fan favorite, earning the nickname Human Highlight Reel. His electrifying plays dominated highlight reels, making him the face of basketball during his prime. Today, Vince Carter sees Caitlin Clark in a similar light, referring to her as the marquee player of the WNBA. This widespread recognition also sheds light on the criticism and challenges Caitlin faces, as greatness often comes with intense scrutiny.
I know a lot of people have been hating on Caitlin.
This is what happens to a rookie.
Yeah.
This is what happens to a rookie. This is what happens to the marquee player.
Vince Carter's legendary run as the #1 Toronto basketball icon and marquee player was littered with plenty of hardship as well. This brought out real struggles in his game. He also recognized all of the rookie hazing that is happening to Caitlin Clark. That is what happens to every rookie, especially the most popular ones.
You got to earn your stripes, and remember this. I say this all the time. This is not I say this for understanding NIL is what it is.
Right.
But when you go to the professional world and you're in competition against other professionals who are trying to feed their family.
Yeah, mortgage
They'll
payments.
give you the business.
What?
Every time.
I got to feed my family.
And they not about to let you look good. You're not about to look good.
Well, guess what? I need to make my name. I need to do my thing against you.
Only a select few players have successfully transitioned from dominating in college to dominating at the professional level. And Caitlin Clark is undoubtedly one of them. Magic Johnson is another, and his perspective on this transition is well documented. However, Magic didn't win Rookie of the Year when he entered the NBA. The reason? He shared his rookie season with his rival, Larry Bird. Earlier, we heard Larry Bird speak up about Caitlin Clark, but the connection between these two goes deeper. Bird knows exactly what it means to dominate from the start. In the 80s, he took the Celtics from struggling franchise to NBA royalty almost overnight, grabbing MVP awards and championships along the way. It's easy to see why he recognizes greatness in Caitlin. Their careers mirror each other in remarkable ways. Instant MVP-level talent, heated rivalries, and a revolutionary style of play. Both Bird and Clark stretched defenses with visionary passing and lethal scoring. Larry Bird didn't just play basketball, he changed it. Caitlin Clark is now doing the same. Moreover, this is the dominance they were showing in their college career as well. Larry Bird was notably born and raised in French Lick, Indiana. That's the state where Caitlin Clark now plays for with the Indiana Fever. Larry Bird started his early career playing for Indiana State University. He ended up coaching and becoming the general manager of the Indiana Pacers. Larry Bird clearly shows a lot of pride in his home state. He still loves basketball now, and loves watching Caitlin Clark. He's such a fan that he's even watched her Iowa college games as much as his beloved Indiana State.
I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa, Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
Caitlin Clark's incredible game is undeniable to any fan of basketball. Indiana, and their unparalleled love for the sport of basketball, deserve these great basketball icons playing for them. Caitlin Clark will continue to build a legacy like Larry Bird did as soon as he stepped foot into the professional league. Many similarities can be observed between the two players. Even Bird recognizes greatness when he sees it. Caitlin Clark has grabbed hold of the basketball world, and she's not letting go. Her unmatched skill, relentless drive, and undeniable swagger have NBA legends openly singing her praises, and she's just getting started. As Clark continues tearing through the WNBA, the respect from basketball's biggest names proves she's already leaving a permanent mark. Much like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird transformed the NBA into a global powerhouse, Caitlin is positioned to revolutionize women's basketball, opening doors for future generations. With every jaw-dropping performance, she's securing her place among the game's all-time greats. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's rewriting history.